everyone, Jennifer Shlomovich here, doing another segment of Cooking with the Confident Vegan. And today we have a returning guest of mine, Dr. Marina De León, who is a vegan nutritionist who's broken down really complex things for me over the past couple of times. And today she's going to do that again, as well as cook. Welcome, Marina.
We'll see if I can do both at the same time.
And
thanks for having me back, Jennifer. It's always such a pleasure to chat with you. So I'm excited to do this new angle today.
yeah, I'm really excited to have you here. I always enjoy our conversations, and I feel like you help simplify things that are always so intimidating, because health is a very intimidating subject, especially when it comes to nutrition.
So complex. It's so complex. Nothing goes from A to B in a straight line in nutrition. There's always multifactorial. So it is intimidating. I understand.
Yeah, definitely. And today we're gonna do, so when I do this, we usually cook similar ingredients. So butternut squash.
Butternut squash. I only have half, I'll tell you why. But
okay, cool. Yeah, and we'll reveal what we're making completely different things with butternut squash. And I bought pre-cut squash to make my life a little bit easier, and then have this whole one that I'll make later into something else. But
I'm going to tell you how to make your life even easier, because you don't even have to cut these.
Really?
Barely.
So how do you prep your butternut squash?
Okay, so well, should I just get started?
Or you know what? We'll pause that. You'll tell me your tips with butternut squash and what you're making. But yeah, share a little bit about yourself in case anyone isn't familiar with your work. And I'll also include our previous 2 interviews in the notes below this video. So if you want to check those out, you can find them easily. So yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, Jennifer. Yes, as you mentioned, I am a nutritionist. I work doing remote nutrition consulting. So I see people all over the world, which is very convenient. That's like the only good thing that came out of COVID, right? Yeah. And so often, people come to me with a lot of different types of problems. Many of them are gastrointestinal disorders and problems like that. But, people have problems with all sorts of aspects of their health. And I provide nutrition information and education, and I don't often provide actual meals or recipes. Sometimes I do, but that's not a huge part of what I do. So I'm actually really excited today to show you a recipe that almost everybody can enjoy and would be good for them. It would be good for pretty much almost everybody. So yeah, that's exciting.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to making it. So tell everyone what you're gonna make.
Okay, so I'm in a kind of secondary kitchen today, so I thought it'd be a really good idea to make something really easy in the Instapot. I mean, the electric pressure cooker, for those of you who grew up cooking beans on the stove, I think that you'll all agree with me that this machine saves lives because I don't know what I would do without an electric pressure cooker. I mean, I didn't know that they existed when I was younger, and I cooked a lot of beans on the stove. So today I'm using the Instapot in a blender, and I'm just going to make a vegetable pureed soup that is so delicious. Yeah, it's really high in beta-carotene. So that's one of my favorite aspects of this soup, because beta-carotene is so good for us. I don't think almost anybody really gets as much as they need. And that's because when people eat a lot of beta-carotene, their body only converts what it needs to vitamin A or retinol. What you don't need doesn't get converted. So you can eat as much beta-carotene as you want, and what your body doesn't use, it doesn't store, and it doesn't convert to vitamin A, so there's no toxicity. So everybody needs to eat more beta-carotene. So today I'm making a pureed soup that you hardly have to do anything to, and to add a little bit of protein to make it a little bit more complete, I'm using yellow split peas as well, but I don't always add yellow split peas. Sometimes I just do the vegetables, and that's enough. Other than that, I have my butternut squash, I have a calabaza, and a carrot, and I even have a sweet potato, which we may or may not use.
Awesome. That sounds really delicious.
Thanks. Do you hear the noise upstairs?
No, I do not hear the noise upstairs at all.
Okay, I think, can I pause though, just to,
Yeah, that's fine. I can edit it out. Yeah, it's totally fine. Yep.
I'll be right back.
And we're back.
Yeah, so tell me more about what you're making today.
Oh, yes. So I recently went to Hawaii back to the end of February. And actually, by the time this video ends, my Hawaii vacation video should be out. So I'll also include the link to that. So when I was in the airport, I saw this cookbook there and I wanted to buy it right then and there, but I didn't have any room in my bags. So I took a picture of it and ordered it from Amazon. But yeah, tasting Hawaii vegan style. And it has a lot of great recipes in there that are things that I wouldn't normally make or think to make, just different uses of flavors. So I'm really excited to try it because I have a habit of buying cookbooks and not using them.
They're still great to read and get ideas from.
Yeah,
So did you eat well on the island?
I did eat very well on the island. There was a few places where there were some non-vegan restaurants that I went to where the only option was a veggie wrap, which was fine. But I had a lot of other great. There's a vegan sushi restaurant there, and the food was amazing. And then there was a vegan food truck 5 minutes away from our hotel, and we ate there 3 nights in a row. And my non-vegan husband really liked it too. So it was just really, really good food. And yeah, so all of that footage is going to be in that video that I'll include there. But yeah, the food was really great. And a popular dish that I've had once in New York City, poke. I didn't have it in Hawaii. They had it everywhere. It's just I ended up eating other things. But I've never made it. So there's this roasted, is anybody saying this right? Kabocha squash? Is that how you say it?
Uh-huh. Kabocha. Well, I think it's maybe it's a calabaza. It's kind of
okay. They look similar. So yeah, so this is a roasted kabocha poke. But I figured why not use butternut squash since you're making this soup with butternut squash, pretty much the same difference. And so I pre-made this poke dressing where there was a few substitutions that I used that I can, when I talk more about that. But I pretty much mostly stuck with the recipe and I pre-roasted the butternut squash just to save on some time. And I made, instead of usually poke bowls have sushi rice in them, but I like making brown rice. So I made brown rice for that. And then I made some air fried tofu that I season really good. And then I have some edamame.
Yum.
I have edamame. I have some sliced cucumber and some purple cabbage. And then we'll see, maybe I will put on, oh, very nice. I love purple. I love garnishing with purple cabbage because it just looks so pretty. And yeah, so that is what I'm going to be making.
So do you cook your brown rice in a pot?
Yes. I don't have an Instapot. I need one though.
Oh, you do not have one.
I cook the beans on the stove. I need to get with the program.
25, yeah. And actually, I don't even, so this is an Instapot, but I also have a different pressure cooker that I think the brand is Insignia, and it's just as good. Like we use the word Instapot as if it's the electric pressure cooker, but it's not even the only one. It's not,
Oh,
and
okay.
like any electric pressure cooker will do the job for you.
You know, it's funny when something I'm not used to trying, I'll like delay myself. Like for the longest time, I didn't use an air fryer. And then one day during COVID, my dad was getting a new air fryer. So he sent me his old one. And then I didn't even use it for like 2 months. And then finally one day I looked up on YouTube how to use an air fryer. And then I'm like, why didn't I use this sooner?
I like that too for a lot of things. In fact, I still don't like to use an air fryer, and the reason is because I don't like how it's called an air fryer. It's honestly, it's a convection oven. It's a really tiny convection, like countertop convection oven. And I
Mhm.
add that normal convection ovens like don't get any clout because they're great ways to bake food. Yeah. So I still
That's
don't use a convection oven.
that's good to know. It's interesting how they have all these different like terminologies for things. Well, since then we bought a new one that has like a dehydration setting to like do food dehydrating and different. I haven't done that yet, but things to play around with in the future. But yes, I'm gonna look into getting one of those, maybe during Black Friday when they have like the sales, because definitely good having. So why don't you share a little bit? So you talked about beta carotene. And before you start making the soup, I know we had a conversation about oils because you're going to use some oil in this recipe, right?
Yeah, so let's talk about the ingredients that I'm using in the soup. So first of all, um, I'm going to do like one of those magic tricks what they do in cooking shows where I have like the already cooked thing come out of the oven when you put the uncooked one in. So a lot of my vegetables are cut in half already because I already cooked half of the soup in the pressure cooker beforehand so that I can kind of, because it takes a blender, right? The fine blender. So this has to cook for about 14 minutes and
Okay.
then it depressurizes and then I blend it and then serve it, right? So I already did this. So what I'm going to do is just pour the pressure cooker soup into this bowl and then we can start again with the fresh unchopped ingredient. All right, let me get all of the split peas out so that I don't re-cook them.
Okay. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pull out my butternut squash that I already roasted right before, which
Okay.
here it is. I roasted it on parchment paper.
Oh, it looks gorgeous.
And thanks. And I try to cut oil wherever I can. So
Oh,
I for the cooking liquid, I put some coconut aminos, tossed it in a coconut aminos just to give it a little flavor and a little bit of a liquid when roasting it. And so I'm going to put that in a bowl and pour on the poke marinade to let that marinate while you're doing that.
I understand cutting oils and cutting calories. It makes a lot of sense for a lot of people because fats have 9 calories per gram, whereas carbohydrates and proteins have 4 calories per gram. So it definitely makes a lot of sense when you're looking at a calories in, calories out calculation. However, my understanding of fats is that refined oils work in the body very differently than unrefined oils. And unrefined oils don't make us fat. Only refined oils make us fat. So I use a lot of fat. I think fat and salt bring a lot of flavor. But you can only say this if you're a person who actually, or I can only say this for people who actually are highly mobile, right? Very, very mobile people can handle a lot of salt and a lot of fat because we use that energy. And especially coconut oil, I'm using an extra virgin cold pressed coconut oil, which has medium chain triglycerides. This type of fat gives you instant energy. So it's great to eat this and then, plan your day to go for a run later on. However, and it's also coconut oil is very saturated. It's a highly saturated fat, which makes it great for high heat cooking because it's very stable at high. That saturation of carbons makes it very stable at high temperatures. Whereas extra virgin olive oil, which is awesome, is a polyunsaturated fat. So it's a little bit less stable at high temperatures, but it's still a wonderful fat to use. And here in Puerto Rico, we get this, I really like that I found this olive oil. It says, vidrio hasta 80% reciclado. So even the glass is 80% made recycled glass.
Oh,
And
wow, nice.
extracción en frío, so it's cold pressed and it's nice olive oil. So I like to use either or both. But I always use a lot of fat with my high beta carotene foods because beta carotene, I'll explain to you a little bit of the way that beta carotene works in the body. So it's great for skin, immunity, eye function. So it's an antioxidant. It does a lot for us. It's a really important phytonutrient, and it gets converted in the small intestine to vitamin A. So our small intestine does that with the help of our gut microbiome as well, but also with the help of our bile. So our liver produces bile and it gets secreted into our gallbladder. And then our gallbladder, when we eat fats, senses fat and squirts out the bile into our duodenum or our small intestine. And there, with the bile acids and the addition of oils or fats, that beta carotene then gets converted. Our bodies convert it to retinol or vitamin A, where it kind of circulates around and gets stored in our liver. So our liver is a great storage organ for beta carotene, and then it converts whatever it needs. So we have all of our beta carotene rich foods. Foods that are yellow and orange are rich in beta carotene, and these give our skin a healthy glow, and they're really good for our eyes. So what I do is lately I've been taking a little bit of yellow split peas, not too much, because you don't want to change the texture of the soup too much. Soak these overnight, and then I rinsed them, and I've added fresh water. And the reason why I soak and rinse my legumes are to get off those phytic acids, those phytates and oxalates. So, you know, we talked about this actually in our nutrient absorption interview.
Yeah, we did.
This is really important. So legumes are really high in nutrients, especially minerals. And these legumes are seeds. And seeds contain oxalates and phytates to taste really bitter so that animals don't root around and eat them. So in order to release those chemicals, you have to soak your legumes. And once that seed feels that it's being soaked and it's going to sprout, it's going to germinate, it starts releasing the phytates and oxalates. So that's why you want to rinse off that water, and those chemicals come out with the water. And then you just add fresh water, and now you have freely available minerals and other nutrients inside of your legumes. So I always like to do that, even when using a pressure cooker. See, a lot of people think that when you use a pressure cooker, you don't have to soak your beans because it does such a good job cooking. But the soaking, although it does help with cooking, it's not just to reduce cooking, it's also to rinse off those phytochemicals so that we don't, so that the nutrients inside of them are more bioavailable. So the first thing I did was I added my yellow split peas. And now the other thing, so I'm in this kind of secondary kitchen, and the other thing that I like about this recipe is that I hardly cut anything. So my blender works really, really well. So all I do is like throw in food the size of this.
Oh, wow, nice.
Oh,
and then it makes it really soft really quickly.
It makes it so soft so quickly, so I don't even do anything. And then my other favorite thing to do is I'll show you this. Because I have a really nice working blender, here are the seeds inside of my butternut squash. Throw the whole thing in there. Skin, seeds, and all.
Oh, wow. Nice. People don't normally think about eating the skin like off of it.
The skin is where there's the most vitamin C, the most nutrients, really, and a lot of the great fibers are in the skin. So, you know, this is a very high fiber soup, and it's going to contain even more protein because of the seeds. So I put the whole thing in my soup, skin and seeds and all. And by the time it's tasted, you do not taste it.
Wow, that's really good. And and also the peas also add fiber as well, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, this whole soup is full of fiber. Oh, so another thing that I love doing is I hate cutting onions because they make me cry so much. Like I bawl with onions. So look, I don't even have to cut it.
I like how you make soup because my soup's a whole production. I'm cutting up everything. I'll soak. I have like a bean medley that I soak. and then I drain it, rinse it off, and then I put the bean, and then I'm cooking it for like almost 2 hours with the cut up vegetables and stuff.
No, I'm sorry. I do not have time for that. I do not have time for that. Not the way.
Well, while you're doing that, I added the marinade on the squash. I have to say it smells amazing. I think I have a little extra. I'm going to pour it on the tofu that I made to also just add that flavor to it.
It's Bragg's liquid aminos and what else?
So, whoops, so yeah, let me grab my cookbook. What I'm gonna do is, you know what? I was gonna take a picture of just the marinade and I forgot to do that. But I did take a picture of it before with everything else. So I will add the ingredients. I'll share also on the screen when I edit this in. So yeah, the ingredients, it says a 1/4 cup of limu seaweed chopped, and then it gives some other seaweeds. I don't know where to find these seaweeds, so I got a nori sheet that you use in sushi, and I took some kitchen scissors and I just cut it up in little pieces, and that's what I use. It's a 1/2 cup of soy sauce or gluten-free aminos. I like to use coconut aminos. They're lower in sodium. They're gluten-free, and even though I can eat gluten, if I have too much gluten, it bothers me. So, and then I also like the sweetness there's a little bit of sweetness in coconut aminos that I like.
Coconut oil as well, because it adds that sweetness that this soup really needs. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, it adds like a nice flavor. It then said it's a 1/2 cup of chopped Maui onion or sweet onion. So I used 1/2 cup of sweet onion, and then a 1/2 cup of sliced green onion. I used it gives a different kind of nut. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, or to use macadamia nuts. So I used 2 tablespoons of macadamia nuts.
The other nut.
What's that?
The other nut that you can't pronounce.
It's Mona or kukui nuts. I'm not, are you familiar with those are?
That must be a Hawaiian nut.
Yeah, I'm guessing so, but I use macadamia, then toasted sesame, 1/4 cup of toasted sesame oil. They say to use 2 tablespoons of sugar. I use 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. Okay. I love maple syrup in all my marinades. Then it says 2 thinly sliced Hawaiian chili peppers or a 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. So I use a 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. And then a teaspoon of minced fresh ginger. And then it gave like alea salt, which is a Hawaiian red salt or salt of choice. I didn't add any more salt because I try to reduce salt where I can. There's like enough salt in the coconut aminos for me. But if you want to add more salt, and then I mixed it all together, it smells amazing. Like I let it marinate in the fridge for like 2 hours, and it smells really good.
The mosquitoes. That sounds like it smells so good.
Yeah, I highly recommend making this. It just has such a really good smell. And I think too, and that's the thing, right? We can always take a recipe. We don't have to follow it exactly the way they make it.
And it still will come out excellent. I mean, for example, right, I put in pretty much a good 1/4 of this red onion and a big scoop of ginger. Normally I would put a little garlic in this, but so I live, on Puerto Rico, and sometimes foods aren't available. So we have garlic here, especially in this little area where I live.
Mm-hmm.
Always comes in those plastic nets where you have to like buy more than one at a time, and I refuse to buy things that come in either the plastic nets or styrofoam with plastic coating on it. So right now I don't have garlic because I can't find a place that just sells individual garlics that aren't in a plastic container. But I know that my soup is still going to taste really good, even with the lack of garlic, especially because of all of the other spices I'm putting in it.
It sounds amazing. And yeah, and that's the thing, like we can always be flexible and use what we have on hand. and save on waste. Like for me, what I do is I just use jarred garlic because I don't have time or the patience to chop the garlic.
So let's see. So I put in, let me show you what I put in so far. It has butternut squash, carrots, a little kabocha pumpkin. This isn't really kabocha, but it's a calabaza. It's some kind of pumpkin. Onion and the split peas. So what I like to do to give it a tiny, I'm not going to put in the sweet potato. I decided it's got a lot in there already. And I have a juca. I decided not to put in the juca, but I am going to put in this little bit of green pepper because this will add a little bit of lightness. So I'm going to throw, wow, not even cutting it. But that's pretty much it. Now I'm just going to add spices.
Nice. So what spices are you going to put in?
Okay. So I love this brand that we have here on the island, Montero. It's really nice. They have really fragrant spices. So this is pimienta molida, a little bit of black pepper. And also I don't measure anything. I just feel like a lot is the right amount when it comes to spices. So pimienta. This is like cayenne pepper. I'm just gonna, or red pepper, I'll just put a lot. Then we have curcuma. So this is turmeric, and this gives the soup a nice extra yellow color.
And that's good for inflammation also, right?
So good for inflammation, exactly. Yeah, this is a very anti-inflammatory soup. And then paprika. This is ahumada, so that's smoked paprika.
I use smoked paprika in a lot of things.
I can't even use regular paprika anymore because smoked is the only way. And then last but not least, I have comino. So this is cumin.
Oh, okay.
And I'll just put a little because especially this brand of cumin.
Very strong.
And I don't want it to take over. So I'm just putting a little bit. So then on top of that, do you have this A-Vogel stuff?
I've never seen it. Maybe we do, but I'm not familiar with it. Spicy sea salt.
So do you know seasoning salts? Like there's a lot of types of brands, but usually they come with a lot of anti-caking agents or I don't know, just ingredients that you don't really need. Well, this brand only has natural ingredients in it, so I really like it. So it's made with sea salt, and then it just has some herbs in it: celery leek, cress. It has cress.
What is that? Is that like watercress?
Watercress or terrestrial cress, maybe.
Some kind of cress.
Undeclared cress, and then like chives, parsley, and then it has just a list of spices, and it even has kelp in it. So I really like it. So this is what I'm using instead of like just salt because it gives it
very flavorful.
Really flavorful extra boost. And I just put a lot of that in there. And for me, I'm going to add a little water, turn this on, and then my soup is done. I don't add the oils until I blend them because I don't want them to get too hot in here and it's not necessary. So I'm going to finish up, I guess, and then I want to hear the rest of.
Awesome. Well, while you do that, I'm going to, I actually found this bowl today when I was out and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this because it looks nice and perfect for poke.
It is a poke bowl.
Yeah. So I was like, awesome. So I grabbed one because I didn't have a bowl like this. So I'm just going to put some rice at the bottom.
Did you buy just one?
They only had one left.
Oh.
So, because otherwise I would have bought, you know, maybe like one other one. You know, because I do a lot of food videos lately. Oh, that looks great. That looks really good. I've been buying a lot of different plates and kitchen things, and we don't have like space. I have things like crammed and covered, so it's probably good that there's only one. But I really like these bowls. So yeah, I put some rice on it. And what I did was, let me move this out. Okay. I feel like I have a sheet pan over here. Okay, it was almost about to fall. And now I'm gonna take this marinated squash and put that on one side.
It'd be so good.
Yeah, and this is gonna be my dinner, so
Yeah.
I feel like this is gonna be very fancy.
Stage.
And then I'm gonna take some of the tofu that I also tossed in the marinade. When I air fried my tofu, I was just some coconut aminos, some onion powder, garlic powder.
You do for
And
your
what
tofu.
else? Oh, I think I used a little nutritional yeast too.
Do you just squish your tofu out, or do you
I
flatten it?
press it with a napkin, like I take a paper towel and I press it. I got extra firm tofu. And then I just pressed it out, and then I just cut it up in small cubes. Actually, I'm really impressed how this is coming out.
Yeah.
You know, it can be scary trying something new, but then when you try it, you can be like so proud of yourself for doing that. And I'm putting some edamame that I got, and oh, this actually, all right, I'm really proud of myself right now. Look how this came out.
That's gorgeous. And look at all of the raw food. We even talked about eating raw with all of our meals one time.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and it's just, and it smells, this marinade I feel like you can use, and like it smells so good. While we're finishing up on your soup, can you share a little bit more about oils? Because I follow mostly whole food plant-based, which is oil-free most of the time. There's heart disease in my family, and so I did gain some weight, and I'm working on losing it, and I'm not as active as I would like to be. I've been trying to get to the gym more. And actually, our last conversation a couple weeks ago inspired me, so I have been going to the gym more. So thank you for that. Um, but I'm not as active because I have weight to lose, and I'm not as active as I would like to be. And you were talking about you're an active person, so you know your body's able to process these things. There's a lot of mixed information out there on oils, and are they bad? Are they good? And clearly not all oils are created equal as well. So can you shed a little more light on the whole oil stuff?
Sure. No, I would love to. It's a big point of contention. So how I mitigate in my life is that I don't eat refined oils.
Mm-hmm.
That means that pretty much anything that comes in a package, actually, I wanted to show you something, and I'll get back to the story.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of good crackers on the market. They're all full of refined oils, and they'll say like whole grain, but really the first ingredient is an enriched white flour or something like that. Like they're just lies. So I'm not trying to promote Triscuits, but I do like that they're 100% whole wheat. And so when I have this, I'm gonna have some Triscuits that I don't have any like whole wheat pitas right now or anything like that. But the one thing that they do have in them is canola oil, which is a refined oil. And so when I bought these and I'm like thinking about them, I'm like, man, 100% whole wheat, but refined canola oil. But there's only 3 ingredients, right? It's whole wheat flour or whole wheat, canola oil, and sea salt. Like you can't get a better cracker on the market because all crackers have a lot of them even have white sugar in them. So not only do they have white flour, they also have white sugar, really highly refined starches, and they always have refined oils. So I don't love the refined oils in this, and I don't want to say I never eat refined oil because you can see these sitting back here, and you might think, okay, she. So I rarely eat refined oils, very, very rarely, and those are the oils you really have to watch out for. Like what we do is buy refined oil and bring it home and cook with it. That is for sure. The second thing that we shouldn't do is buy packaged food that has refined oils in it, which is almost everything. So if you can avoid, even if you just look at any ingredients on a package, you'll read the ingredients. It'll say sunflower seed, cottonseed, soybean, canola, mazola, corn oil, peanut oil. Whenever it says any of those, like just oils, it means highly refined. They don't have to use the term highly refined, but it's in there. Unless the oil says it's refined or cold pressed or extra virgin, you assume that it's highly refined. So it's those areas that you want to skip out on. And then you do want to use those unrefined oils at home because they do help you absorb and utilize your fat soluble vitamins, vitamins A, D, E, and K. So we really need those. Not only do we need those for nutrient absorption, but our gut bacteria utilize them as well. They give us a lot of energy, so we don't get tired and worn out so much. They're also great for our skin. They're great for our bowel movements. We need fats and oils in our diet. There's just so much refined oil that it's hard to get away from it. So no, not all oils are created equal. Unrefined oils, your body utilizes. Basically, this is how I look at it, and it's probably an oversimplification of how it actually works in real life. But the way I kind of like to look at it is that unrefined oils are used by us for our skin, for our hair, for our energy, right? For lubrication, right? And for our joints as well. They're really good for our joints. Like omega-3 fatty acids are really good for our joints. We have to have them for lubricating the joints. But refined oils, our body, they're in the wrong quantities. They're, highly stripped, and I feel like they kind of get stored. Unrefined oils get utilized. That's how I like to look at it. So if you like to look at it that way too, that will help you not eat any refined oils, but it'll help you eat without anxiety more unrefined oils.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I would say like 80% of my diet is oil free, and then the other 20% is like the occasional oils and stuff. Like I try to be careful with what kind of oil. Like I will cook with coconut oil. And then the other thing, I'm just gonna grab it out of the fridge.
And we should be getting a lot of our fats from whole foods, from actual nuts and seeds and olives.
So yeah, and I have this toasted sesame oil that says it's expeller pressed unrefined medium heat.
Yes, if it says expeller pressed unrefined, then that's excellent. And then
yeah, so that's what I put in the marinade in here. So I do cook with this when I make like stir fries and things like that because I love the flavor. So this is like a good oil then to use.
Wonderful oil, and it's actually really hard to find unrefined toasted sesame oil. I mean, usually the toasted sesame is the refined kind, and then the unrefined is not toasted. So the fact that Spectrum started doing that, it was really good. I'm glad that they started doing that. Is Spectrum, right?
Yes, it's Spectrum Culinary oil.
Yeah, that's a really good find. So what I'm gonna do, I'll show you now my oil technique for the blender, which isn't really a technique at all. I just dump it in. So I'm just going to, so I'm so surprised with this blender. So normally I don't use a blender with a plastic carafe, but this is kind of what I have now. I like the old Osterizers that have the heavy base with the glass carafe, but I don't have that down here today. But that's okay. So I'm just going to stick everything in. This blender is surprisingly incredible. You should see this thing blend. I mean, I'm really impressed with it. So I think a good blender and a good pressure cooker are like two key ingredients, two key tools that you must have in your kitchen for a whole foods, plant-based kitchen.
Nice. That soup looks really good. I love how you just were able to cook everything whole like that.
I know. I might need to add a little water. We'll see. If I do, it's
While you're doing that, I'm just gonna grab my sesame seeds.
oh, yum.
I'm gonna sprinkle some sesame seeds on top of this.
Okay. So for this one, I am going to use coconut oil.
Okay.
This
And that'll
talks,
add a nice flavor to it also.
that'll go with your poke bowl. So I'm just gonna scoop, let's see, this is 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna scoop in, I think 4, maybe one more, 5 tablespoons. So that will be excellent.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to take a quick picture of this.
Yes. All right.
Cleaning up my space here. Because I don't want to sample it later until I've had my good photo of it.
That's it. How was it? Did you try it?
I just tried a cucumber. I just took a picture because I wanted to get a nice photo of it. I'm gonna try it now, and it smells really good. I would definitely make this marinade again.
It smells so good too. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of water. It's looking a little thick.
Okay, this is really good.
Your marinade time.
I'm very proud of myself right now. This came out delicious.
Oh wow, all of the herbs in this. Yeah.
That looks so creamy and good.
Oh yes. So what I would normally do now is add a squirt of lemon because this type of soup just it pops with especially a Meyer lemon. But I forgot to bring a lemon down, so I'll go lemonless right now. But I recommend it.
It looks beautiful. How is it?
It's so airy and fluffy.
I wish we could trade through the Zoom.
Oh, I'll show you mine.
There we go.
Beautiful.
I started messing it up because I was eating it, but oh my God, so good.
Yeah,
this is a really good It's sweet and salty from the coconut aminos, and I can taste just like the onion and the ginger, and like the seaweed gives it a little bit of a taste. It's just so good.
I was gonna say the same thing. The onion and the ginger, the red onion and the ginger are so good in this like sweet and starchy soup. Just so good. And so I cannot feel or taste any skin, any seeds, and even the split peas. I don't know, they're gone.
And what an easy way to get nutrition in. And if you have a family member who doesn't like vegetables, you puree that into a sauce. It's a great way if you have kids who don't want to eat vegetables, right? You can they won't even know what's in there.
Yeah, and actually this over rice would also be very good.
That sounds good.
Wow. I love how fluffy. I don't know. I don't know if fluffy is the right word. It's very airy.
It sounds really good. I'm gonna have to get a pressure cooker one of these days. I have a cheap okay blender, but one day I want to invest in like a nicer blender because I'm sure that makes all the difference in things.
I'm really surprised about this one. I don't know if you can see. I've never even heard of it. It's called Living Solutions. I think it's like 50 years old. I have no idea how it made it onto the island initially. And the first time I used it, I was like, oh my God, it blends everything. Like it blended. I think the first time I used it, it was for a parsley pineapple drink that I just add those two together with, and it just made it so smooth. I was shocked. And so it's really good for seeds, and I don't know, it's excellent. I've never even heard of the brand.
That sounds amazing. I just wanted to say something about crackers. Do you have the brand? Have you heard of the brand Mary's Gone Crackers? Do you have that there?
I don't think we do, but I had in California, yes, I've had Mary's Gone crackers.
I have, let's see, do I still have
Good.
we have they're the only crackers that have like the best ingredients. So this is the jalapeno one. The ingredients are brown rice, quinoa, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, sesame seeds, onion, garlic, jalapeno powder, salt, sea salt, poppy seeds, and it's organic.
Oh yeah. Okay. And another, yes, I wish I could get those here. We
Yeah,
cannot get.
oh, it's such a shame. Yeah, they're the best, and they have like different flavors. So like we get these, they're like so good. And so I just wanted to give them a shout out because I feel like they're the healthiest cracker. But the Triscuit,
Wrong with that.
if you can't find the Mary's Gone crackers, and again, I always tell people it's about progress over perfection. Like
Yes.
if you can find something with minimal ingredients, and the fact, and we've talked about this before on previous discussions that we had, right? About sneaking nutrition and simple ways to just, if you're eating mostly okay, it's just sneaking in those nutrients or making better decisions.
All it's about.
Yeah, it's just being more conscious about our decision, more intentional. But I feel like that's a better way to do things and try to be like perfect all the time, or it's more livable.
And it's daily. The small things that you can do every single day are really what counts, because you count up the decades and then you look back and you're like, wow, I've been eating flax seeds every day for 10 years. And then, then that means something.
Right. Absolutely.
When somebody thinks that they can, only do that or eat a large quantity and then not again, then that isn't as supportive and
Right.
or sustainable.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, this was so much fun. I would love to cook with you again if you ever want to come back and cook something else with me. Yeah, I always enjoy our conversations. Can before we wrap up, can you just let people know where they can find you?
Yes. So my business is called Microbial Future, microbialfuturenutrition.com. There's a lot of my blog that you can read about. I'm often posting new blogs. I have a newsletter if somebody wants to reach out and join my newsletter. And you can reach out to me and schedule a session through my blog. You just submit your name and your email address, and we can work out how to work together no matter where you are in the world. So I'm always interested in helping people no matter what their problem is or where they're from. So
Great. Yes, I love learning from you. I feel like you make things so much easier for me with all this information. And I'm going to include your website in the notes below, as well as our previous interviews. So if you haven't seen those, you can check them out. So this was great. Thanks again for cooking with me tonight. And I hope you all enjoyed hanging out with us as well. And I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.